Hey guys, what's up? Quick little update. Real quick, I just got in from work. My my milds and some of my sweet peppers are doing a little better than my super hots, so I won't go too much into the super hots. Almost embarrassed by them. But anyways, this right here is supposed to be a red gum tiger map or MAMP, however you say it. Somebody told me that it didn't really look like it is based on the pods, which you can see. This little guy here is absolutely loaded, which it's, if I remember correctly, eating the pod that the seeds come from has a little bit of kick. You see here more buds coming out. This little dude just is absolutely ridiculous right now. You see up here more buds, a couple more flowers. Anyways, like I said, it's supposed to be a certain pepper. Somebody told me it didn't look like it based on the shape of it, and it may be a cross. These here, Peruvian black cobras, this one here is starting to get buds all over it. These here loading up with buds. These guys almost died. I had when I first put them out here in the ground, and buds down here too. When I first put them in the ground, they were doing really bad. Had some bad spots all over them. A couple little peppers in here. They had some bad spots on the leaves, like most of the leaves come off, all except for like a couple. And of course, you can see now they're getting up there. They're almost half as tall as the fence. Down here, I've got my ahi lemons. There's some guys hiding down here. A few of them are getting shade from the tomato plants. As you can see, I've got a whole bunch of these little guys. A few more over here. And they're loading up more with buds too, so. Some Carmen peppers here, which are Italian sweet peppers. They actually get quite a bit bigger than this full size, but with this plant being kind of small and so loaded, I don't know if they'll really too much get any bigger than that. You can see here's a really good size one here. A couple of them are getting up there. This one here, it looks like it's gonna start turning red soon. I've got my Fresnos in here. A couple of them almost look like they might have crossed last year, which I didn't really have them close together, so I don't know. They may or may not have, but you can see the plants on these aren't huge, a couple feet tall, but they're starting to load up with pods good. New buds coming out on them. And one right there getting ready to start turning. And then these, as of right now, kind of like my prized possessions. My Anaheims here. If I can get the plant to cooperate and get out of my way. You can see here, this sucker is absolutely massive. Those there should be getting ready to start turning. A couple more down here. You see I got a few here on this plant that are getting pretty big also. But the Anaheims are doing really, really exceptional. I mean, there's not a whole lot of pods on them, but they are getting very big. So I am extremely happy with that. Oh, hell. A freaking bee flying around me. Oh, crap. That's something landed on my back. I was like, what the hell was that? So I probably spooked y'all with the camera jerking around, huh? Actually, just noticed a little cricket in the garden, which I don't want to leave in there. Anyways, back to what I was saying here. My large cayennes, or long cayennes, whatever you want to call them. Most of them aren't extremely big, but there's a few of them in here that's really good size, as you can see here. And they've got there's quite a few pods on them, and a bunch of them that are small. A few more back here in the back hiding. Some up here in the front. And then I've got, in this garden here, I kind of don't really care if stuff gets crossed. That's just kind of my do whatever with garden. Here's my dragon cayennes. As you can see, the dragon cayennes are pretty well loaded up here. This plant here ain't got a whole lot on them, but it's getting there. You can see it's got new buds and flowers all over it. And then these, I think, actually may have crossed, because these are supposed to be dragon cayennes also. But as you can see, they don't really look like the cayennes do. There's actually got a couple of them back here that are pretty much ready to pick. I'll probably pull them off later today. That one's still got a little green on it. But again, I've got a buttload of cayennes going. These plants here got a really, really slow start to them. I hope pop the flowers off. These are actually my orange sun bell peppers. You can see it's got a couple little clusters on here. That one's got the one pepper on it, one on here, which there's just a few buds starting to sprout on it. And then this one here's only got a couple little buds, but then I've got a couple small, and then I've got one bell here that's doing pretty decent. And I was telling you guys about my tomato plants. You can see this one here is kind of laid over now and starting to grow wherever the hell it wants to grow. But you can see it's got flowers everywhere. It's got tomatoes on it, of course. It's just one of the branches from down here off the bottom of that one. These guys here don't have a whole lot of foliage on them, which I'm not real familiar with tomatoes because I don't really eat them, but not a lot of leaf coverage. But I mean, as you can see, they're getting pretty well loaded. Again, another branch hanging outside the fence line here. Yeah. What are you doing? I'm going through the garden. But these are the Chadwick cherries. A bunch of them hiding down in here. Then move over here. I've got my Romas, which they're doing pretty well. They had a slow start. The plant got pretty tall and only had like one tomato on it, and then finally out of nowhere they just started shooting up. You can see my cherries are starting to grow over into the Romas. And then I've got my sweeties, which, as you can tell, are doing pretty well. There's tomatoes everywhere on this plant. I've got 2 of them here, so it's really kind of hard to tell where one ends and one begins. But again, you can kind of tell here where it is with my fence line. These plants are getting ridiculously tall. And then last but not least in this garden here is my beefsteak tomatoes, which obviously you can see down here. They're starting to do pretty well. A few nice sized tomatoes on them. These are actually the last ones that I started. So anyways, this is my small garden here, which again, it's kind of like if something crosses, it crosses, you know, oh well, whatever. My big garden never really got a good start. Probably not going to have a good finish. I'm not going to go through a whole lot back here. I've got my my yellow Hungarian wax peppers. As you can see, I've got peppers, flowers, and buds coming out all over the place. These, I ate one. It wasn't really like ready to be eaten. Probably could have left it for another week or so, but it wasn't bad. Really, really mild heat. But I mean, you can see I've got a bunch of these guys. Some of them are a little bigger than others. They'll be ready to start ripening up here soon. They're a little smaller than normal, but obviously, you know, when a pepper gets to a certain size and quits growing, they're gonna end up ripening to that size. I've got more Carmen plants here. I've got buds and flowers starting to form on these. I ended up with one, which I'm pretty sure is going to be a cross from something I grew last year. So I'll be curious to grow that out, see if it's something that may end up actually having some heat to it. But these guys, you can see, are starting to get buds. And kind of really, I guess, don't matter because I've got 4 of them loaded up. And my banana peppers, I didn't really space them out. That's still Carmen's. So I've got a couple bananas. Really, really funky shape to them. Kind of tripped out, by the way, both of them grew like that. But these guys here haven't done too great. They're a little smaller and of course kind of raggedy looking here. That one there is starting to get a little something going on it. That's some sweet bananas. And then I've got a couple little Santa Fe's back here that are starting to load up with buds. Got me another orange sunbell back here, but this one's kind of a retarded looking one. And oh, look at that. I don't know if you can see him on there. Hang on. It's actually a if I can find where he went. Those are, I believe, cucumber beetles on my bell pepper plants. And my freaking leaves are all funky on these guys. I think probably because of them. Couple little jalapenos. I got a late start on a couple of these here, so this one here was doing good, and of course you see it's pretty bare. It ended up with a lot of really bad leaves on it. Kind of the story of my season. I've got some super hots, guys, but they're teeny tiny. so I'm not going to really go into those. Let's see here. Got the ahi Sito, however you pronounce it. I've got one pod on here. You can see it's starting to get more buds on it. These plants, you see the leaves don't look all that great on them. Again, those struggled from the get-go. I've got something that keeps getting in here, messing with them. And if any of y'all can tell me what the hell that's all about, the black spots and the yellowing around it, you know, I could use a little bit of help here. But again, you know, they're getting pods on them, starting to. These little guys here, ahi habaneros. And then down there we've got another ahi lemon, which is pushed out pretty good. Anyways, I'm not going into the super hots, guys, really. I've got a couple over here in buckets that I can show you real quick. I've posted a few pictures, but my Jay's Peach Ghost Scorpion, obviously you can see I've got some pods going on it. They seem to like it better in the undercarriage. I've got a few of them that are kind of out in the open. Of course, you can see, again, it's got buds and flowers coming out everywhere. And then this poor little guy here, he grew one pepper on him, and that was it. He's kind of stunted from being in the pot. So anyways, that one there kind of struggled. And then, like I said, he produced one freaking pod on him. I'm on freaking YouTube. I'll be in there in a second. But this one here is kind of prized possession. My 7-pot primos. And you can see it's got buds, it's got flowers and pods all over it. New clusters there popping up. A couple more pods hiding there in the middle. You can see some of them have got a little sun scorch there. Nice little patch of them in here, which I'm super excited about these, because these seeds actually come directly from the man himself. So I'm expecting some good heat out of these guys. Again, I got pods hiding back here in the back. A couple of small ones that are starting to form up. But again, it's got buds all over it and everything. Same thing. I had a really bad mishap with this one here. I'm expecting it to come back good. The big one, it actually was almost dead at one point. I forgot to water it when I went on vacation, and come back and the leaves were crispy on it and looked absolutely pitiful. It took me about a week and a half, 2 weeks to get it back to halfway decent shape, and then from there, you know, it kind of took off. Same thing here with this. These little guys, actually, they're getting to be more red than they should be. It's supposed to be Tony Sherwood's tangerines. This plant here got absolutely overrun with bugs on it, and the leaves got ate all up. And you know, I'm not gonna leave injured leaves on there and have the plant struggling trying to heal itself. So I went ahead and pulled the leaves off, of course, and you can see it's got more leaves coming back out now. But my Ghost in a Can has its fourth pod ripening. As you can see, I've got a few more hanging on there. Yes, I still have a bunch in cups that are probably not gonna go anywhere. Nice little patch of bell peppers here. Nice little banana. And then I've got my pillars, my concrete pots here with ghost peppers in them. I don't know why they're growing so funny looking, but finally starting to get buds, and of course a little flower on it. But anyways, I mean, that's about it, guys. I've got a few smaller, like the little Thai hot chilies. It's got the little bitty peppers on them and stuff that are doing halfway decent. I've got a couple out in the front garden, or the flower beds, whatever. But anyways, so again, it's been a struggle this year. That's why I'm not even bothering going through all my super hots. I almost feel embarrassed by my garden this year. With the rain and then the heat and my work schedule and everything's been kind of nuts. So, you know, it'd be nice to get to the point to where I don't have to work and I can just, you know, live off of what I run here at my home. So anyways, guys, I appreciate everybody that stops in and watches this. Y'all have a good day. I'll be back on later with probably a good pod review. I got a nice box of pods sent in to me from a friend. So y'all be safe. Have a blessed day.